Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tesla stock had a good day today, and really it was a risk on day across the board for most of this market. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how we know the Santa Claus rally has begun. Okay. I think a lot of things are just not going to matter for this market during this month, right? We want to pay attention to them. For an example, what has been the recent trend for this market? Well, the recent trend has been if we get strong economic data, rate cut odds fall, risk on assets come down. And what happened today? We had the lowest initial jobless claims number we've seen in almost 5 years, and risk on stocks rallied aggressively. Okay. That's telling you that markets don't even care. You're in this Santa Claus rally at this point. Okay. Now, where does this Santa Claus rally take Tesla stock? What's kind of my expectations, okay, for Tesla during this Santa Claus rally? How long does it last? Does it end on December 31st? Does it continue into 2026? There's a lot of things to be excited about with Tesla, so it's very possible Tesla stock could continue to do well throughout most of 2026. Now, we do have some economic data coming out tomorrow. I will share that with you in today's episode as well. So do me a quick favor and hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Check that link out down below in the description of today's episode if you guys want to come join the trading community. But again, let's acknowledge, to me, in my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, like I could be wrong here, but the Santa Claus rally has begun. Okay, the indexes did not do a whole lot of anything today, but under the surface, there was a breath thrust. Okay, there was a lot of stocks that did well today. Despite the recent trend of every time we get stronger than expected economic data, risk on stocks sell off. In fact, we got the second best reading for initial jobless claims, almost a record low for the past 5 years today. Okay, that normally should have caused risk on stocks to sell off because presumably you'd have less of a chance of a rate cut. Instead, risk on stocks skyrocketed. And I think it's, again, tactically speaking, tax loss harvesting has already happened. We just went through a correction that we're in the process of coming out of. And really, this was more than a correction. This was really a crash under the surface. Okay, so you've already seen people, they got all bared up already, and some of that is unwinding now. While also, again, from a tactical perspective, hedge funds and institutions, they've sold about $60 billion on net worth of stocks this year. Okay, they were big net sellers of stocks in 2025, and it makes sense, right? You had trade issues and Trump, crazy headlines and China problems and you name it, right? Government shutdown. It makes sense why 2025 Wall Street sold so much in stocks and really did not get back into this market. Well, wouldn't you say it makes sense that now they're going to position into markets into the end of this year? Because 2026, okay, again, from a tactical perspective, if you're a hedge fund, you don't want to underperform heading into a new year. It's a really good way to lose clients and all of that. It's not great for your even reputation, right? But for 2026, the situation looks really good. Okay, labor market, jobs market, doing okay. AI is clearly alive and well. Relief coming for the consumer around mid next year with the big beautiful bill and $158 billion of increased tax returns that people are going to get back. Bitcoin having crashed and coming back to life a little bit, markets caring less about the yen carry trade, a new Fed chair in May, multiple cuts next year with lower inflation, right? beyond just the tactical, like people tend to be bullish in December, the underperformance from hedge funds and the chase, 2026 looks like it's set up to be a really good year as well from a fundamental basis. Now, I think some stocks are going to do better than others. Okay, I think 2026 is a bit of a quality year, right? You want to be in quality stocks next year, okay? And even into the end of this year. You don't want to be in the highest flying, most speculative stock, okay? But a stock like Tesla that is not like super speculative, all of that, is going to do very well next year in my personal opinion. Because it's about AI and it's about applying AI to the real world. And Tesla's going to do a lot of that next year. Now, Elon Musk is the newly appointed CEO of Tesla. I say newly appointed. He's been the CEO, but newly contracted CEO from Tesla with a robotics platform that seems to be getting more attention in the last 24 to 48 hours, with a robotaxi network that looks like it's going to continue to expand into the long foreseeable future. Same with Optimus there. 2026 looks chock full of positive catalysts for Tesla. There's not a lot of downside risk next year for Tesla, in my opinion, especially if the economy does well and, outperforms expectations. Okay, so I think a Santa Claus rally that, in my opinion, has begun can lead into a strong 2026 rally for Tesla. Now, the question of how high does Tesla go next year really comes down to execution. It comes down to, regulation and how fast Tesla and robotaxi can scale, how much of an effort there is to getting Optimus to market next year. Elon did not sound confident in bringing robotaxi or Optimus to market next year. He said by the end of next year we might see some kind of deployments, but you're still a couple years away from like you being able to buy an Optimus robot, let's say. Okay, but we are definitely seeing the tailwinds necessary for a massive rally in Tesla stock. Now, something else I will point out is the MACD line today is now positive, up 1.57. It's above the blue signal line as well. When these things happen, when the MACD goes positive, you tend to see a very large rally. Okay, last time the MACD went positive was down here in April of 2025, and then you proceeded to rally 72.5% by the end of May. Okay, so 72%. Great. You went negative in the MACD in here in July. From the July low to the $475 recent high we've seen, that was a rally of 64%. Okay, last time the MACD went from negative to positive again. What happens this time? MACD goes positive. What's the average of 72 plus 64 divided by 2? Average of 68% the last two times the MACD has went positive. So what would that give us? That would give us a move to $750 per share if that were to hold true. Now, I'm not going to hold my hat to that. I'm not going to make a prediction like that necessarily. What if we got half of that? What if we got a 34% rally? That puts the stock at $605 per share. There are people on X calling for a rally into the 700s. Now, I think we need some kind of catalyst, some news for Tesla to get us there. But we know there's going to be news by the end of this year. We know during the Santa Claus rally, we're going to be getting new cities where the robotaxi network opens up to. And again, I'm trying to think of this from a hedge fund and institutional perspective. If you're a big money investor and you're like, okay, I want to participate in AI, and you have Elon as the CEO, and you're looking out there, right? Tesla's one of the top choices if you want to participate in AI for next year. as the robotaxi network, is expanding. Last year, you didn't really have that. You had the robotaxi network that opened up, but didn't really expand. 2026 is about expansion, about getting to unsupervised FSD, which I think a lot of people would project that that's going to happen next year. And Tesla seems like the obvious choice to invest in, right? It just seems obvious to me. Now, short term, Santa Claus rally, I think you're looking at a move into the 500s. 550 by December 31st would not shock me at all. Okay. Like like if we're sitting here December 31st and Tesla's $550 stock, I'm going to say, yeah, that sounds about right. 22% rally from here. That doesn't sound crazy to me. To get to $600 would be, again, about a 34% rally. That doesn't even sound crazy to me from, again, Tesla's standards, right? Now, again, we do have some economic data tomorrow. It's for September, core PCE month over month, personal income month over month, and personal spending month over month for September. Not expecting much of a change in this data set, but again, it's for September. It's not that important. Wall Street's probably not going to care too much about this. You have the consumer credit change for October as well at 2 p.m. tomorrow. But you also have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, expecting the headline number to go up a little bit. But what Wall Street really cares about is inflation expectations within this. 5-year inflation expectations are expected to fall from 3.4% last month to 3.3%. And 1-year inflation expectations are expected to fall from 4.5% down to 4.4%. So you're expecting a little bit of a drop in inflation expectations. If that happens, great. But this is survey data. It's highly political. I don't think it's important whatsoever anyways, but markets might react to it. But just, again, judging off of what we've seen today in markets, it looks like the Santa Claus rally has begun. Even then, there's about 71 million shares in Tesla sold short, which could help fuel this rally to new highs. I mean, we talked about this for a while leading up until this, but even for a couple days there, you were between the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. As I said, if you break above that 50-day moving average, there's not a whole lot stopping Tesla from hitting new highs. I mean, to get to a new high right now, which your previous high was about $485 per share, call it that. To get to a new high is about 7.5%. That's not much. You might do that tomorrow if we had the right piece of news come out. Okay, so I like what I see. There's obviously always risks in the markets, and nothing is a guarantee. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner, but I think an even more explosive move is coming in December for Tesla. I think this is literally just the start as we just started December. It's December 4th today. Okay, it's going to be a long month, and I think a lot of upside, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a financial planner. Don't listen to anything I say. I'm just sharing my thoughts here, literally sharing my thoughts and my perspectives on this market and on Tesla. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Check that link out down below in the description of today's episode if you guys want to come join the trading community. But with that said, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.